it's hard to imagine. But I think someday I might have beachfront property living a mile away from the beach. And that's what we have to be concerned with. We have to be worried about rising temperatures. That's what's affecting our fish populations more than a cable going on the bottom of the bay. Cables have been running across the Atlantic for 100 years now. This is not new technology we're talking about in this project. Talk about Brayton Point, which is the nearest coal-burning power plant, the biggest power plant in the Northeast, generates about 1,300 megawatts of power. That has major environmental impacts. They've had to build cooling towers that you can see from over a state away. And they had to do that because they were heating the waters up in the northern parts of the bay, affecting the fish populations. Those are the environmental impacts that we should be more concerned about. The project that Deepwater Wind proposes is 5 turbines in this demonstration project. They've gone through environmental studies. They've done everything to make room for things like flight of the birds, the migration of the right whales. They say they're going to postpone it and only do the installation of these 5 turbines when they're not migrating through. Allowances have been made for the environmental concerns that were out there. And it's a good project at this point. And at some point, we need to be transitioning to a renewable energy economy. And yes, it has to be small-scale projects. I want solar panels on my roof. I want a small turbine in my backyard. And that's important to do those sort of moderate level things. It's important to do those small things like turning off the lights when you walk out of the room. But it's also critically important that we're doing larger scale projects as well. It's going to take every level of energy to prevent the worst of climate change. And right now we're just not doing it. Last year we saw the second highest jump in atmospheric concentrations of carbon dioxide on record. And we're already higher than we've been in millions upon millions of years. The science behind climate change and global warming is undeniable. Back when we still had a beach in Matunic, when we still had dunes that I played on, I did a science project in 5th grade when I was 10, 1988. Was when the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change just started its work addressing climate change. To my 10-year-old brain, the science of climate change made sense. And you could conduct a small experiment that made it work. All you have to do is put 2 terrariums next to each other, put carbon dioxide in one of them, and measure the temperatures as you go along. It's science, it's real, and it's time that we started doing something to address these changes that have been occurring for years, decades, and are now really threatening our infrastructure, homeowners along the beach, and really the money that's public money that's going to go to try and protect these people in this infrastructure. It's time to take action. And we're not going to be able to do it all in Rhode Island, but we're responsible